With so much software and so many services available in the short-term rental industry these days, it's increasingly difficult to keep up to date with what's on the market and to determine whether it's a maybe or a must-have for you and your business. So meet one provider each week in a short interview, learning what they do and what they offer. So if you have around 20 minutes to spare, it could prove to be a very good investment to stick around. So let's see who and what is out there, one by one, with me, Deborah Larby, also known as the Guest Inspector. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Techsplain series. As property managers, you probably receive a lot of questions from guests, and a lot of these questions are repeated questions. Some questions are simply because people don't like to read, and some questions are legitimate questions. And if we are to offer the best guest experience, then each and every question needs to be answered as close to immediately as possible, and in a friendly, professional way, no matter how bad your day may be going or how many times you've typed the answer to that question. So why not harness some tech to do this for you? Today, I'm chatting with Clive, who will explain to us what Hello Hosty can do. Hello, Clive. How are you?
Hello, Deborah. I'm very well, thank you.
That's good. Thank you very much for joining me today. Usual first question. Clive, what does Hello Hosty do in one sentence?
Okay, so Deborah, in one sentence, Hello Hosty provides an all-encompassing AI-powered assistant designed for short-term rental property managers, seamlessly working alongside any and all existing channel managers and property management software.
Wow. Okay, let's drill down. So I'm a property manager. I want to use your software, service software. What do I do? What's the process? How do I get my property information on board? What am I seeing? How does it work?
Okay, so first up, you visit hellohosty.com and you create an account, and then you add a property. You add information such as your internal code or the address, the check-in, check-out information. And then the AI magic really starts when you paste in there a link to your Airbnb, Booking.com, or VRBO, all three, one or none of these listings, and a guidebook. You upload the guidebook. If you don't have a guidebook, it's okay. We also create guidebooks for our users, free of charge, it's included. Mm-hmm. And our AI tool takes all of this information from the online listing, from your guidebook, from the information you put into Hello Hosty, and it congregates it, puts it all into a corpus of text. And then our AI tool responds to your guests using that information in a very native, friendly, in their own language within minutes. So your AI assistant becomes very well informed, understands your property, understands how to communicate with your guests. It'll understand how to open that tricky back door. It will understand how to turn on the oven, which is a little bit complex, or how to work the TV, where the extra blankets are kept. Mm-hmm. This kind of information, provided that's been given to Hello Hosty, then Alina, our assistant, will be able to respond to guests' messages, regardless of how obscure they might be.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that given that it's AI and AI is always learning, if one question is, are there any spare blankets? Yeah. If you, okay, so okay, we'll have to come back to this. But in terms of Alina understanding or knowing the answer to that question, she will remember that in case someone else asks that question, right?
Okay, so currently the way that it works in terms of ML, machine learning, the AI will have access, as mentioned, she has access to all of the information that's been input into Hello Hosty. Mm-hmm. But if there's something that she doesn't know, she will, if there's two options. You can either automate it by pressing a simple button to say, this guest is fine, just automate any responses or any questions that come in now. Alina can just handle it. Mm-hmm. And if the auto's turned on, Alina will answer. If she doesn't have access to that information, she will say to the guest, hold on a moment, I'll come back to you shortly. I'm going to ask the property manager for more information. At which point, Hello Hosty contacts you, the property manager, and says, we don't have this information. Can you jump in and tell us? And that currently where we stand, that information will only be remembered if you update the guidebook. So if the guidebook's updated, that information is available. So it's a very easy way for property managers to ensure that any information that's missed once is not missed again in the future.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, go on.
So the guidebooks that we create for our users, we use AI to create the guidebooks, but we also give the property managers a link to the guidebook so they can edit it. So they can edit it, they can upload information, more information if they need, take stuff out, change things. You know, if the Wi-Fi password changes, they can do this. If they decide to refurbish and they put a new oven in, or they get that back door repaired and it works perfectly, then they can update this information themselves and still use a kind of beautifully designed digital guidebook.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay, so let's say, okay, I've uploaded my properties. I'm on the Hello Hosty dashboard. What am I seeing?
Okay, so the
unified inbox.
Yeah, the first page that you'll see is a calendar. So the calendar will list all of the bookings that come through, which can be edited. You can add notes in there. You can share the calendar with your team if you like. We also have the possibility for you to be able to add users with limited access. So if you've got staff, if you've got assistants, they can have their own Hello Hosty account and get in and deal with guest communications. But the first page you see is the calendar view. That's the first page. To answer your question.
But in terms of the messaging, do I see the messages coming through and
right?
What
yeah.
am I seeing there?
So in terms of the message, I mean, I can show you if you'd like. I can share my screen.
No, we don't do any share screen.
All right. Okay.
Well, but we will do a demo maybe one day.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
To do so. So the first page you see is the calendar view. As I said, you have a list, all of your listings in there, and all of the bookings which you can view, all of the information about the bookings. The next page is the properties page where you can add your properties. Then the next page is your inbox, and in the inbox you have a list of all of your messages on one side on the left-hand panel, and then you have your whichever message you've selected is in the center, and you have a suggested message on the right-hand side by Alina. The message will show as suggested unless you've turned it on to auto, which otherwise it just sends it straight away. The suggested message, which the default setting is suggested, it won't automatically send. The user has to select, I want you to go on auto in order for the AI, Alina, to automatically respond. But if you see the message, the suggested message, if you want to adapt, change this message, edit it, you can. You press edit button, change a few things, and then send. Or you can just press send straight away. And we have it too also on a web app, which is mobile enabled, so it works super smooth if you're out and about running around town, apartments out, whatever it is you're doing with your day. You can deal with guest communications on the fly.
And this is also like, not just pre-arrival, this is also while the guest is there. All the questions are looked after by Alina, or can be looked after by Alina.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, go ahead.
So the thing is that you can, once you've got it all set up, you can sit back. If you set it to auto, for example, you can sit back and Alina will look after everything unless she doesn't have an answer. And then she will ask you, and then you say, this is the answer, or then you respond, and then that's it. Otherwise, all communication is looked after.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's quite interesting because it's AI. Alina will also offer practical suggestions. For example, we had a guest recently that was checked into an apartment, and a guest was asking us about where the hairdryer is. And there is a hairdryer in there. The hairdryer may move. Sometimes it might be in the wardrobe in the bedroom. Sometimes it might be in the drawer in the bathroom. Sometimes it might be in the chest of drawers in the bedroom. Anyway, the guest is saying, where's the hairdryer? Where's the hairdryer? And Alina, being rationally minded, offered a list of suggestions. It may be in the bedroom in the chest of drawers. Have you checked the bathroom cabinet? It could also be in there. And I was watching this communication. It was on auto, watching the communication unfold. And the guest said, oh, I can't find it in the bedroom. And she said, okay, check the bathroom. The guest said, oh, I found it. And it's amazing the kind of practical thinking this AI has. It really, I mean, had we not had an AI tool involved in that communication, that would have meant either myself or a member of my team dealing with those communications. Stop what you're doing, because right now there's a guest in an apartment who's looking for a hairdryer. The AI knows there's a hairdryer in there because that information's detailed in our online listing and also possibly in the guidebook. The AI knew there was one in there. So the AI is saying, please check. And if the guest had said, no, I've checked everywhere, it's not here, then the AI would have said, okay, I'm going to check in with the property manager and I'll come back to you shortly. And it would have notified us as the property managers. It would have said, your attention is required, this communication has taken place, and assistance is needed.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so
Yeah,
great.
pretty cool.
Out of interest, I haven't actually asked this about ChatGPT to anyone, but does Alina have a sense of humor?
Well,
I know there has to be a certain level of professionalism, but this is hospitality, and you're sort of like, can ChatGPT have some warmth and humor to it?
Well, warmth, absolutely. Empathy, absolutely. Well, programmed empathy, programmed warmth, programmed humor. It's particularly my sense of humor, but it's very kind of very clean humor. The AI itself, so the way that Hello Hosty works, without getting too technical, the AI works on a principle of we have to feed a lot of information in order to receive a one line or a couple of sentences response to a guest, a lot of information. So Alina operates on roughly 1,000 rules. Myself and a prompt engineer worked on this for many months, refining to make sure that every response was perfect. And in doing so, we've figured out we don't really want Alina going off on tangents. We want to make sure that Alina stays professional. If she's asked questions which divert, if she's asked personal questions such as, how are you? This was a common one. How are you? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. We don't want to divert. I'm here to assist you. How can I help you? We want the AI, the assistant, to stay on topic, stay on a professional, friendly, empathetic topic. As well, we've trained it to mirror the guest. So in terms of selling, I mean, I used to be an estate agent, for better or worse, years ago. In terms of selling, mirroring was something which we were very much aware of. And that's exactly what Alina does. So if the guest comes with a very formal style of writing, Germans typically, I find, have a very formal style of writing, Alina mirrors that formality. And if the guest comes extremely informal with emojis and laughing, all the rest of it, Alina mirrors that. So it's quite cool to see that she'll match the style of the guest. So if the guest writes informal, she's informal, and
that's great. I do like that. Okay, so what would you say is your unique selling point?
Okay, so our unique selling point, I would say, is what sets us apart is our assistant's ability to engage with guests in a natural and familiar manner. So as mentioned, our AI has undergone kind of extensive training within our own property management company. It was built around our guests and our guests' use cases. So it ensures a seamless and authentic guest interaction. It can operate autonomously as well. So as mentioned, you can just press a single button and it will fire off in automatic communication with the guests without the need for constant monitoring or overwatching from the property manager. And it will proactively reach out when necessary to the property manager. So it's really, we aim at unparalleled level of convenience and in heightened guest satisfaction. They're kind of the two pillars that we're aiming for, because guest satisfaction is 100% at the core of what we do. We have to make sure that our guests are very happy and satisfied. And the number one factor apparently in receiving a good review is staff attentiveness. And that is what Alina does. She enables staff attentiveness.
Yeah. Now, two things. So the first thing is that when a guest asks a question, Alina pretty much answers immediately, right? And what's the sort of time delay is there?
There's about a 3-minute delay. So it feels human.
Yeah. Okay. That's still not bad. That's almost immediate. That's good. And also then with the property manager, right? If someone's going to take over your messaging, communications with guests, how do you offer that manager confidence to hand over? So there is a situation where the manager can see before Alina sends it. So they get, okay, Alina knows what she's doing. I can hand it over. Yeah. So how does that work?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, in building this product, I'm a property manager first and foremost, and I've realized that I know the importance of the guests are so important, and communication with the guests is so important. So we need to ensure that whatever tool that we're implementing is not gonna mess things up. It's not gonna start telling guests. There are certain things certain topics which I consider to be absolutely set in stone. Alina can only behave in a certain way around certain topics. Those topics are check-in and check-out times. You can't have an AI saying to guests, yeah, sure, check out when you like, it's fine, because you've got cleaners, you've got other guests arriving. This is kind of like, this is sacred. You cannot touch that information. That has to be accurate. So we've worked extremely hard on making sure that stuff is set in stone. That's not moving. That's not going anywhere. But to put other property managers' mind at ease, because it's not just about my use of this product, it's about other people's interaction with other property managers' use of this product. I knew that it was very important that other property managers remain in control. And the way to do that, the way that we've done that, is that Alina is not automatic unless the property manager chooses for Alina to be automatic. The way that we do that in our business, in our property management business, we don't turn Alina onto automatic typically until the guest is inside the property. However, I would feel confident to turn it onto automatic pretty much straight away. But because because I know the importance of remaining in control, that's how we built it. So that it's not the default setting is not automatic. The property manager only turns it onto automatic when they feel that when they feel confident, when they feel comfortable with it, which gives the property manager the control.
Yeah. Okay. And with that digital guidebook, if Alina's looking at the information in that guidebook, I could see you uploaded a file to upload your digital guidebook. So it's a PDF file that you upload with all the information.
Well, you can upload whatever file you like, an image even. Our software can deal with whatever kind of file you've got. But in terms of the file that we create, the digital guidebook that we create for our property manager users, we create a PDF, and that PDF is actually stored in Hello Hosty with a shareable link. And Alina will provide that link to the guests. So if there's a question that the guest comes up with, Alina's aware of the conversation. It's not just one message. So she has the whole conversation, and she'll take the whole conversation into view when she creates one line of response. So she will not continuously send the guidebook unless the guest requests the guidebook link again, but she will send the guidebook. So, for example, if the guest said, "Hey, we're arriving tomorrow at 5 p.m. and we want to check straight into the property. How do we get there?" Alina will say, "Well, here's the guidebook." She will also tell the guest how to get there. She'll write out, like, you need to go this street, that street, take the key from the shop, and all the rest of it. And here's the guidebook link, and the guest will be able to click the link and access online the PDF guidebook stored within Hello Hosty. But they don't need to log in or anything like this. It's just you press the link and the PDF pops up on your mobile or on your screen.
Yeah. And that's obviously the document that the manager keeps up to date with, where those blankets are stored, et cetera, et cetera. So Alina's always got access to that information, and it's always up to date on the guidebook.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Hello Hosty and Alina was born out of, I mean, in our business, we have assistants, like virtual assistants online team. And the team have access to certain amounts of information. They have, obviously they're not going to turn up with a spanner and start fixing things if the properties need maintenance. But the aim of Hello Hosty today was to solve one of the most pressing challenges that we face as property managers, which is constant 24/7 guest communications. And it kind of emulates what our virtual assistant team are able to do. The roadmap of the future, this thing's going to be doing a lot more, but for the time being, we're solving what we perceive to be the biggest challenge of property managers today that can be solved by AI.
Yeah. Well, that's leading into my next question. What are the benefits and why would I use it? So it is the 24/7 responses.
Yeah, well, I mean, AI is seen as kind of a topic of intrigue and concern. And there was a saying that resonated with me, that I heard a while ago, that really resonated with me, was that AI won't take your job, but someone who knows how to use AI might. And as property managers embracing AI, like Hello Hosty, it's a game changer. It's about gaining efficiency and lightening our workload, which I think we've really been able to achieve. Is certainly made us way more efficient, and our workload is massively reduced. I really enjoy watching the conversations between the AI and humans. We had and human guests. We had a guest yesterday that was chatting away on auto to us at Alina, and they were asking about checkout times and how to drop the key off, or what to do with the key. And it was so interesting to watch. Well, Alina, I know what Alina was going to say, and she said it. She said, like, okay, this is what you do with the key. And the guest was like, oh, is that okay? So brilliant, we can do this, and like sort of reconfirmed. And he's like, yeah, absolutely. And then Alina was saying, I hope you've had a lovely stay. And the guest's like, yeah, it's been amazing for us. It's been really fantastic. And then Alina always has the last word. She always has the last word. And she was saying, like, oh, that's great to hear. And then the guest continues saying, yeah, the location's been great. And I thought, obviously, the guest has no idea she's communicating with AI. But what's happening, if you look at what's really going on here, this guest is getting an incredible customer service deal from us as property managers. She's getting what she believes to be massive attention. I call it like a digital hug. And quite often I felt that in this business, way before Hello Hosty, way before AI was even around, I felt that sometimes guests get in touch because they want a digital hug. They want to feel that there's somebody at the other end of the app or whatever it is they're communicating through that cares about them, that cares about their stay, that's going to give them attention. Quite often it would just be a case of having to give them that attention. And this guest clearly wanted to communicate with somebody, and she got to communicate with somebody.
That's great.
Yeah, the review's not in from that guest yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think that that's the thing about hospitality. You know, someone has been hospitable to you, and the guest can talk to them, and it's a two-way street. I think sometimes with a lot of automation, like, you know, here, get the key from the lockbox, let yourself in, let yourself out, and you know, there's no discussion with anyone. It's very black and white. But being able to have that conversation, okay, granted it's with AI, but it's still it's the caring, like you said. Yeah. Now, in terms of white labeling, first of all, I'm sure that the messaging is done by Alina. Can I change Alina to be Deborah?
Well, this is the interesting thing. Alina will pick up on if your name as a property manager is used anywhere else in the thread. She will then assume your name. So if you jump in and you sign off Deborah, Alina will become Deborah.
Okay.
So she will assume your name. The default setting is Alina. That's if there's no other name available for her to take on board.
Yeah. Okay, so Alina, for me, Alina could be my member of staff. Because I'd be a bit nervous actually making her me, and then the guest asks a question, and then me says I have to double check with the property manager. I was like, yeah. So maybe it's best that Alina stays as member of staff.
Alina, she's trained to say that if asked, if this comes up in conversation, she's trained to say that she's the property manager's assistant.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of white labeling, I mean, is Hello Hosty shown up anywhere, or is it just purely Alina, and that's the only link to you?
Well, in terms of white labeling, it's not a white labeled product at the moment. In our roadmap, we have an open API that we're looking to build so that other software solutions in this space can connect with Hello Hosty. The beautiful thing about Hello Hosty at the moment, where we stand, is it's an email integration, which means we can work alongside any and all other PMS, channel managers, whatever solutions are in the tech stack of the property manager. Hello Hosty can work alongside, which is amazing from my perspective. You can use this tool alongside. That's come up a lot in conversation with many people, with many users. That has been a concern, but I'm going to have to change no, you don't need to change a thing. This works alongside. And it's very easy to integrate. We've also got in the roadmap our own APIs, which are being built out in the form of a PMS channel manager. So if somebody wants to use an API connection, they can use our PMS channel manager solution, which will give them the API connections with not just because currently we work with Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. But when the channel manager is released shortly, we're probably about 10 days away from that. That will mean that if somebody wants to, they can connect with all and every OTA or platform they wish, and it will be an API connection. But it doesn't have to be. It can be an easy email integration, and it can work alongside.
Yeah. So when you say email integration, that just basically means on any website, any OTA that you're on, you just provide the Hello Hosty email address that is provided, that pops up from my account on Hello Hosty, and automatically all of those inquiries will come through to that one dashboard.
Yeah, exactly. It means that with Airbnb, for example, we give Hello Hosty provide each user with an integration email address, which you make your username on Airbnb. You would make it your assistant on VRBO, and you would make it your reservations assistant on Booking.com also. And what that means is, and you also give Hello Hosty an email address of yours. So that would be the email address you use currently for your reservations, etc. All emails that Hello Hosty receives to the integration email get sent on, all of them. Whatever email is sent to this integration email gets forwarded to your email address. However, on top of that, any emails that Hello Hosty receives to that integration email that are relative to your guests and guest messaging, Hello Hosty deals with in the Hello Hosty inbox. So it kind of just sits in the middle there, like sandwich between your current email solution and the booking platform.
That's fantastic. Really good. Now, who is your target audience? Like, what size company? How many properties do you have?
Okay.
Audience.
Well, we have users that range from 2 properties up to the thousands. So we really aim to serve and do serve companies of all sizes, whether independent operator or a large scale enterprise. If they're aiming to optimize operation and enhance guest satisfaction, Hello Hosty is here to assist. Our reach extends globally, so we can serve anybody over the planet. Alina is fluent in all major languages, can communicate in Japanese, French, Italian, German, you name it, whatever. She can respond in whatever language. So our user base pretty much spans the spectrum.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool watching Alina communicate in. I mean, I speak a couple of languages, Latin languages, but I don't speak German, for example. And I was watching Alina communicate with a German guest. I didn't know verbatim what the conversation was covering, but I know Alina's well trained, so I knew exactly what she would be saying in certain situations, and I knew that she was providing the guest with the information the guest needed. But it's very satisfying to watch Alina communicate in a language that I don't understand.
That's incredible. Absolutely. Look, languages are a really important thing when it comes to booking sites or communicating with your guests. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much.
So how much does it cost? Is it a monthly subscription or annual? How does that work now?
Okay, so it is a monthly subscription for users with 1 to 6 properties. It's £10 per month, and that goes down in we have a tiered pricing, so it goes down to £5 per property per month if you have over 100, and there's a gap in between. So so that it goes down in tiers. But it starts off with £10 per property per month.
And there's no contract, no lock-in contract. You just pay monthly.
I'm a strong believer that if you are in doing kind of ethical business, and if your product is good enough, there is no reason to lock people in. Which is what we do. So if people want to use Hello Hosty and work with Alina, then they can do so. If they feel that it's no longer suitable, then there is no tie-in. They can go elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah, great. And do you have a 14-day free trial? Is that what I saw when I just popped up now?
Yes, absolutely. There's a
Give it a
14
go.
free trial. Yeah. And we have, of course, have all, the onboarding videos and stuff on the platform. So
Yeah.
if anyone wants to give it a go, they can go over there and sign up for it.
And out of interest then, I mean, I went through the process. So if I was to put in my properties, the links, and upload my digital guidebook, is it automatic? That's it? Or is there a refresh, or does it take 24 hours before it comes live? How long before it's live?
Instantaneous. The only thing to note would be that with the email integration, new messages, when we or Hello Hosty processes new messaging. So whenever a guest sends a new message, it's often I think it's important to make clear that new messages are what's taken into the Hello Hosty inbox. So it won't all of a sudden just populate with historical booking, etc. So it's new messages, but it's fairly instantaneous. The only challenge there would be if you hadn't uploaded correctly the integration email address, but providing everything's been uploaded correctly, then it's, as soon as a guest sends a message, you will get or Alina will get a response for you. Great.
So within that 14-day trial period, chances are you're going to have a few goes where Alina's going to do her job, and you'll get a real taste for, hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the feedback that I've had from users is phenomenal. I've had users say to me that they never want to send another message to a guest without Alina again, and I can totally see why. I mean, one use case that I never really envisaged before Alina was out there being used is a user from Portugal said to me that this guy has good English skills. We spoke via Zoom. I helped him on board, and he said to me that, and he has good English. He said to me that he always kind of felt a little bit shy about how his English kind of fared up when he was dealing with English-speaking guests, native English-speaking guests, and Alina, obviously grammatically perfect in all of these languages. And he said that Alina had rescued him from a bad review with with perfect English and perfect empathy, etc. And I never really realized that as a use case, that property managers who maybe don't speak certain languages as their native tongue would be able to get such value from having an assistant perfectly trained. I mean, even with, for example, in my business, we have online assistants that English is not their first language, and they're backed up now by Alina. And I know that not only are the responses going to be written in perfect grammar, native to the guest's language, but they're also, the information that Alina provides, she has immediate access to all of the information about all of the properties. She doesn't need the assistant doesn't need to sift through Google Drive and try and find files on what's going on where and everything else. No, it's all there, and instantaneously has that information to hand. So it's a great support for our assistants, as well as, for an individual property manager, it's a great thing. But for property managers of bigger size that have more properties and they have staff that are dealing with the communication, this is a great support tool, which kind of lifts them and helps them with efficiency and everything else.
Yeah, that's great. Really great. We've come to the end of the usual questions. Was there something about Hello Hosty that we didn't touch on yet, or that we should know about?
Well, in the very near future, as mentioned, we're going to be releasing a whole new range of features, not just small updates to the current product, but also with our own PMS and channel manager. So that's something to look out for. I'm super excited to see how that goes and how that can serve people. Well,
look, I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. Sign up, get your 2 weeks free, check out Alina, and see how she can help you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Oh, Clive, it's been a pleasure learning about Hello Hosty and Alina. If you have any questions for Clive, please pop them in the comments below. Otherwise, I will put a link in the description below. Clive, thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, see you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to catch up on ones you've missed, just head to thetexplainedseries.com. Or if you're short for time, you can head to thetechminis.com where you'll find extra short interviews. See you next time.